Work is stressful, guys, okay? From what it's looking like, it's stressing you guys out. But now, we're gonna start from the past. We're gonna start from the very top, right? Like a 3-card spread. It's too vague, right? So I decided to get a little bit more specific. So we're gonna start the regular way, and then we're gonna go back over with the internal and external energies. Now, in your past, you guys have justice. So for some of you guys may have apologized, or you guys could have received an apology from someone. There could also be a union of hearts here. Honestly, because this is Libra, this is, contracts. So why wouldn't it be marriages, right? It does talk about divorces. And I don't think it's a divorce that you guys are dealing with. I feel like this is more so, you guys could have gotten married, but I mean, considering that you have the Hierophant, 2 of Cups. The only thing I'm missing it's the 10 of Cups for me. I would love to see that to kind of really initiate that there's marriage coming up, or there's marriage for some of you guys. But I feel like this is really just being committed with one another. But there's also closure here, karmic correction, some karmic change, some karmic balance that's going on. There could be also a karmic relationship, just period. But I would like to see the devil come up with that. I'm not seeing the devil, so I'm not putting a lot of weight on that one. Okay, so really, it's about closure. For some of you guys, you may have received an apology. For the others, you guys may have apologized yourselves, right? There could just be some life closure, some communication going on in regards to leveling things out, clearing the plate. And I feel like with this sort of closure, or this sort of clearing the plate energy here, I do get this 2 of Cups here with the present. So whatever you guys wrapped up or put to bed, or pretty much get sorted out in the past, you have now reached this point where you guys have met someone, or this individual that you were closing, wrapping stuff up with, and trying to balance the scales in the past. You guys now are being able to kind of connect. This could be with, as friends, this could be as someone platonic, or this could be, romantic. And if this person does feel the same way now, when the 2 of Cups does come up, it does indicate that someone feels the same way about you, or how you feel about them. So well done, guys. For those of you that are not currently connecting with an individual at this moment, there's a potential that you could connect with an individual, connect with somebody, potentially this Queen of Wands here. But you got 2 confidence cards there as well, so that's amazing. But I feel like ultimately, guys, that you guys connected with an individual after putting to rest some sort of situation. Now, in the future, you have the 9 of Swords. You guys could be very stressed out at this time. Now, we're going to look into this, because this is losing sleep. This is technically like, feeling very worried and overwhelmed with situations and what your thoughts are throwing at you, when maybe the situation itself isn't exactly that bad. Because you see here, he's holding his hands over his face. So the stress he's feeling, and the anxiety he has, and the depression he's got going on, it may be that it's amplified because he's not able to see. It's very similar to the moon, in my opinion. What you can't see may hurt you, because you may realize that even nothing could be there, but it's just the thoughts in your head that's keeping you from being able to see the truth, or the clarity ahead of you. Now, we're going to go back over this. We're going to go look into the internal and the external portions of this reading. Now, for the past, you had justice, so karmic scales being rebalanced, or karmic scales being balanced. There's some course correcting, and some karmic stuff happening as well. Potentially even some closure for those of you. Some of you guys may have, contracted with someone. There could be a contract. You guys could be living with somebody, but I don't think that's anything domestic per se, because we don't have any domestic cards. Because I would like to see the Empress come up or something like that. We're not getting any domestic cards, but there could have been some sort of communication with an individual, apologizing, or you receiving an apology, or something that's wrapped these up. And internally, you feel very prepared to handle it. I feel like in the past, you're very prepared to handle karmic scales rebalancing. I feel like you wanted to get some correction going, because there has been some things out of whack for a little bit. And I feel like this Magician card is like, yeah, you're prepared and ready to go. You're ready to manifest. You're very confident in your ability to execute this sort of action, which was to possibly bring closure to a situation. And it shows, because you have the Queen of Wands and your external. So you came out looking fresh, okay, looking hot. And the Queen of Wands is showing also confidence and the ability to get things done, just doing what needs to be done. And honestly, you know, she doesn't play around, she doesn't joke around either. She's very serious in a certain degree. She doesn't mess around when it comes to the truth. She's very authentic, and I feel like your authenticity shined through this moment with justice. I feel like you guys wrapped up, you know, put some closure on something, put the bow on it, and sent it off. And you guys, honestly, it really provided you guys with this sense of confidence in yourself, which is absolutely excellent. So it's always a good sign to see. And I feel like with that sort of confidence, right, you always, with that sort of confidence, is, you know, self-awareness of, you know, your ability to manifest and things like that, but also, you know, feeling good about yourself, that brings in people. That's what we call the law of attraction, because how you feel about yourself will bring people that feel the exact same about you. And I feel like that's what happened here, right? How you felt about yourself. And this karmic correction thing, this may have been some karmic balance that you had about yourself. Maybe there were some things that needed to be leveled out for yourself, and you finally got to that point where you're like, I feel good about where I am. I'm prepared to handle whatever comes at me. And you feel good about who you are as an individual. You look at yourself, you see your ego, right, which is your body or whatever, and you've developed in a way that you feel very proud of it and you're standing by it. So, and I feel like with that energy that's been hyped because of, you know, the work that you've been doing internally, I really feel like that has brought in this, you know, you've created a magnetic attraction to yourself to eventually get you a person that feels the same way about how you feel about yourself, and potentially how you feel about this individual, because you have the Two of Cups here. Again, this doesn't have to be romantic, but this could still be platonic. Platonic love is still a thing. We love our friends. We love the people that support us. We love our families. They're not romantic. So this could be somebody that's platonic, but I do feel like this person could be romantic because of the Hierophant. The Hierophant is someone that is this is the committed energy, right? You're very committed, you're very solid on something, you have traditions. This person has an age difference potentially, because the Hierophant is in your internal energy, and you're possibly dealing with an individual that you feel something for. But the karma could possibly be that there's there's an age difference, or there's a cultural difference. There could be some sort of difference here that's significant to you. And you're Capricorn, right? Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. Saturn is a very traditional energy, so it makes sense for you to feel like, you know, not necessarily feel kind of opposed to it, but it is somewhat of a, you know, it does stand out. But I feel ultimately that internally you feel, you know, I feel like you feel committed, or you feel very centered in yourself in regards to committing to yourself. But again, I feel like there could be some age difference here because of what's externally showing. Externally is showing that you have indecision, or you're not really sure about pursuing something, or sure about handling something, or making a decision because of, you know, because you're not seeing it for how it truly is. Do you enjoy the individual? Do you like who they are? Do you like their personality? If so, why is the physical portion of themselves so important? And I feel like ultimately you could be, you know, committed with someone else potentially, but I don't think so, because I would have seen more third-party cards. I don't see that. Most importantly, what I feel like is that there is some sort of traditional differences, and it's put you in a position where you kind of can't. You're not sure what's a decision to make, and possibly you're probably holding off on having discussions about some sort of traditional differences that potentially do need to be discussed. So, and I feel like that could potentially what's causing you guys stress, right? Because you have these ways of doing something. You have possibly a family that's the same way, and you have a way of doing something, and this challenges that. This relationship is challenging that, and I feel like that's what's causing you stress. It's causing you to lose sleep, because you're having to kind of figure out what you're going to do about something that, you know, that's possibly different from your routine. And this stress could potentially be that you know the truth of the situation, or you may have spoken your truth, or you may have, gotten some clarity of why this individual is different, or you may have an idea of what it is that you want out of this individual, despite the difference that you guys are feeling, and it's showing that you have to put work into the relationship to, really make to make it happen. But most importantly, I feel like, honestly, for a lot of you guys, I'm actually going to pull some clarifiers, actually. For a lot of you guys, this Hierophant, I feel like you feel committed to something. You feel committed. Maybe you have other commitments. And this individual is somewhat distracting. But not in a bad way. Like, you don't mean it in like, oh, you're distracting, I can't deal with you. More like they capture a lot of your emotional attention. This is your responsibilities, your obligations, and etc. Right? Things that you've set into place, set in motion. For those of you guys could have met this individual at school. Okay, that if you guys are going to college, this individual is at school, or you were meeting, or you met them during a time where you were in school. This could be internet as well. I don't see distance, so I can't say that there's a long distance relationship. But what I can say is that you guys could have met them while you were studying at some point, or learning something. Okay, yeah, it's making a decision about something that's based off of value, pretty much. So ultimately, guys, I feel like with this energy of the Hierophant, it's coming up, it's talking about commitments in regards to what's truly valuable to you, right? But honestly, it's the surface level and not the internal level. Yes, so that's pretty much what I was saying before. Looking at the individual and how they are physically doesn't really stop you from enjoying their company emotionally. So it's all about figuring out which is more important, their emotions, their personality, or what they base themselves on, what they identify as, what religion they support. All those things, I feel like they definitely are from a different standard of yours, or you don't typically go for that for this person that's presented themselves to you, but you happen to be attracted to them. And that's a hard thing, especially when you don't know what to do, when you don't really know how to handle the differences that you guys may have. Now, this does lead to being stressed out, right? Right? You're just trying to, you like this individual, but then you have other things that's that's nagging at your brain. They're different. They're not the same. They're not the usual person you go for. They may not be, you may not have dated that individual that has that certain type of characteristic about them that you're like, I don't know. But it's all about the physical. Like, what do you feel is worth the value? And at the same time, it's stressing you out because you actually like this individual. You like them. And it's hard because they are different in the sense that, in the sense of values. Maybe they value something differently. Now, for some of you guys, this could also indicate that there is some individual that's struggling to people. Like, you may feel committed with this individual, but you don't really know if you want to deal with it because this individual has someone else that they're looking at as well. You guys could be honestly in the middle of this, or you guys could be dealing with an individual that's already attached or somewhat, or you're committed to someone else, but this person is someone you don't know. Like, I think I feel like you don't know how to make that step to say, I want you, but if I can't have you, that's, it's a difficult situation. Ultimately, you're committed to someone, you're committed somewhere, and it has a lot to do with possibly someone that's struggling to people, or the reason why you're distracting yourself is because this connection is very distracting for your work, and it's stressing you out. It's making your life a lot harder when internally you're the truth about something. Like, you have clarity in the situation. You have clarity. Maybe that's what exactly is stressing you out. What's stressing you out is that you know the truth, or the truth about something. Maybe this individual that you met at school maybe they're not juggling two people at all. Maybe they're focusing on work. They're concentrating on something else, and they're just not really looking at their emotions at the time, or they're not looking behind them. They're not looking in the past. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at the future, what they can build in the future, and you are still in love with them potentially. But it doesn't mean that they forgot about you. They potentially could be just using this development of projects in future to deal with the pain that they feel in regards to not having you in their life, because they feel the same way about you, right? The Two of Cups. Let's see what justice was all about. Why does justice come up for them in the past? The Ten of Wands, a burden. So something possibly some sort of balance in the past. Maybe you needed some time to, maybe there's some closure to something, so that way you can feel more confident in yourself, or confident in your ability to manifest something. And now in the present, you feel this tie to this individual. You feel something for this individual, or someone else. This individual is distracting themselves with work because they feel the same way about you, but there's an age difference, so there could be some things with school, there could be something in regards with work, you have other engagements, you have to take care of your family, these other things potentially. But at the same time, externally, honestly, it's hard to handle the situation or handle the responsibilities that you got going on, because this person is on your mind. And with that person being on your mind, it's stressing you out, it's making you feel depressed, you're feeling isolated, you feel very alone, and it's hyping up your anxiety. But because you know what you want, you know the truth, you know what you feel, but you're still concentrating on work, you're still concentrating on something, or you're perhaps building something to come back to this. Why do you have the Eight of Pentacles in your external energy? The Five of Swords. Wow. There's something that you're doing that it's probably a sacrifice, perhaps, or more importantly, I feel like this is with the Eight of Swords, Five of Swords rather. Eight of Pentacles, Five of Swords. Externally, you know the truth. What is the truth? Because I want to know that too. What is the truth? What is this Ace of Swords? Why is the Ace of Swords coming up for them internally? Why? What is it trying to tell Capricorn with the Ace of Swords? The Knight of Pentacles. The work that's being put in. Focusing and studying. Taking your time, being very, maybe you're not taking your time, but you're looking very closely at details, and you know what you're committed to. You know what you're committed to. That's what it's saying. You know exactly what you're committed to. You know what you're trying to go for. You know what long-term connection you want to build with this individual. You know what you want. You know what's of value. Or you're taking the time now to figure that out. But the Ace of Swords wouldn't be taking, figuring that out. Ace of Swords is like, this is a new perspective, this is new whatever. New perspective in what you're trying to offer to an individual. And that is leading you to work very hard and build on it and put some effort towards, like, making it happen. And you may end up, like, it may be, like, really desperately trying to get this to go, get this going. Wow. Speak the language of love is what comes out. So, yeah, Capricorn, that's hard. Especially if this individual, if you have other things that you've set, obligations for, or you accept responsibility for, and this person, like, I don't know. And I want to say that they're the reason why you're not able to complete some of these tasks. And officially, I feel like this is your heart's desire in some way. They've opened you up in a very emotional way. And Capricorns, you're very private. You don't open up to people. So when somebody gets to you, they get to you. And it's very, very hard to let them go when that happens. So speak the language of love. Loving words have the power to change someone's life, including your own. So the situation is this, right? With that Two of Swords, you don't know which way to go. You don't know what to do, what to decide. And I feel like, honestly, would speak your truth and everything, speak your language. Maybe the stress is that you haven't made a move, you haven't said anything. The stress is that you have a new way of communicating. You know what you want. You know what you know the truth. The truth is you want to offer something to someone, or you want someone to offer you something. But most importantly, I feel like this is you guys. You want to show that you are committed to them because you have commitment here in the Hermit. That's the Hierophant. That's what I knew. I knew. It was something in regards to committed. You guys are committed here. I'm like, yeah, no, you guys are committed. What are you committed to? You're committed to this individual that you feel for, that you can't really see a future without. And it's hard. But the thing is, guys, you have everything that you need. You've always been prepared. You've always been ready. You've always had what you needed to take care of the situation, to get what you want, and you've manifested it. You've manifested it, and they've come. But now you have to communicate from your heart. What do you want? What do you want from them? What do you want to offer them? You have to make that step to them, honestly, because it's you, or nothing. Because look at the future. It's the Ten of Swords, or the Nine of Swords. It's not, you're depressed, you're sad, but you have, it's just the fears, it's just the doubts, it's just everything. Potentially being rejected. You know what you want. This individual feels the same way. You just have to make the effort and go for it.